Lesson 3 is Chapter 2 of your textbook. This lesson is an introduction to C++ programming. Section 2.1. We're going to look at the parts of C++ programs. Just like every whole system will have parts in it, a program as a whole body will have different parts that it has to be in place in order to be able to correctly function. Let's look at one simple program. In this example, we write a C++ program that basically would display on the screen, "Hello there." This program is from your textbook. You can refer to it and look at it. You can code it even as a executable program and execute it. Doesn't have any debug. Let's look at some parts of this program statement by statement. The first line, you'll see // sample C++ program. This is a note to yourself. It's a comment. The next line starts with a pound sign, include a blank, then inside the brackets IO stream. This is preprocessor directive. This tells the preprocessor, go ahead and bring and include this file into the program so I can go along for the compilation and compile with that file being inside the program. The next is using space, namespace, space, std, semicolon. Notice I spelled out the blank or space between these words such as using and namespace to show that you can have one or more spaces to spread off your statement. This is a name space which is used like a cookbook in all the programs. Basically, since every program will have series of names that the programmer will use and the series of names that the library will bring for you, you want to have a standard place so that these names will not be duplicated and would be unique in that namespace. You tell it what is the type of the namespace that you're working with. In all the cases you'll be working with, you're going to be working with the standard or std namespace. The next one is int, a blank space, main, parentheses open, parentheses close. This is the beginning of the whole body of your program. Think of your program as a big container, a function, that inside that container or function you can have many series of other functions and other statements to get executed. All the C programs will start with int space main open parentheses close parentheses to say that this is the beginning of the main function. The next statement, the curly braces, is telling the programmer this is the beginning of the series of statements that will follow all the way to the end of the program, that you close that curly braces to show that the block of the code belongs to one main function. Anytime you open a curly braces, you have to close the curly braces to match it up. And for the readability purposes, we indent our lines so it shows where does one block start and where does it stop. The next statement is cout, two of the less than sign or the insertion for your cout object, and then you have a blank and then a double code, the string hello, comma, there, exclamation, close the code, semicolon. This statement will output to the console the message that you have. Notice that at the end of this statement you have a semicolon, the punctuation to tell the compiler that this statement is finished on this line. The next line would be return space 0 semicolon. This is again like a cookbook. You'll see it on all the programs that you write. The last statement is to return the control to the operating system with a 0 value, telling it that everything was okay and I finished all right. And the last part of the block is the curly braces that you close it. Notice that all the lettering in the statements of this program was in lowercase, with a few exceptions of the comment C in the C++ was uppercase and H in the hello was uppercase. But those statements that use the reserved word of the C++, they were using a lowercase lettering. C and C++, they are case sensitive. There is a difference between writing return in a lowercase and writing it with capital R, capital E, capital T, capital U, capital R, capital N. They are totally different names. Make sure you understand this part very carefully, because most of the beginner programmers, they suffer from mixing the cases in uppercase and lowercase, and that given different identifiers, although the name is the same to them. The next part is looking at the special characters that is being used in a program. The first character, // this shows the beginning of the comment. This is like a note for a programmer to him or herself for the clarification purposes. The compiler would ignore these statements. The next one is a pound sign. This is the beginning of the preprocessor directive statement. This tells the preprocessor, go ahead and execute this for yourself. In this case, in our example, include the file IOStream inside the program so the compiler can do its job. The next one is open close brackets. If you want to put a file name, you put it in this open close bracket. Next one is the open close parentheses. We get to see this one especially when we write functions. When you pass parameters to the function, you pass it inside these parentheses. Since main is a function, we are not passing anything inside there, so we leave inside the parentheses blank. The next is open close braces, or sometimes referred to as curly braces. This is showing the beginning and ending of a group of related statements in a block of a code. Always when you open up a brace, you have to close it. They have to match up, otherwise you will have syntax error, or at the worst case you would have logic error, which is hard to debug. Next one is quotation marks. I call them double quotes to be identified with the single quotes. The double quotes are used to enclose the string of characters. The last one, semicolon, this is the end of the programming statement. This would be the end of section 2.1.